Good morning, my fifth grade mathematicians. It is nice to see you. And if you are watching this in the afternoon, good afternoon. And if you're watching this in the evening, good evening. Whatever time of day you are watching this, I hope that you find this dividing partial quotients refresher using multiples helpful to you. So, if you can remember in class, one of the important things that we will need is our multiples list right here. You have one of these in your math toolkit, which is at school, but you can also just create one of your own on a piece of paper, and that's fine too. The first thing that you are going to do is you are going to write your problem like normal. So we're setting this problem up just like partial quotients, the way that we normally do that. Okay, so you have your dividend right here under the hat, and then you have your divisor right here. The smaller number is the divisor. Now, I don't know about you, but Mrs. Bieber sure doesn't know her 21's times tables by heart. I don't. I know I'm really good at a lot of things math, but 21 times tables is not it. So I'm going to use my multiples list over here to try to come up with the best partial quotient that we can to make our lives the most easy. And I'm going to start out with numbers that are easy that I know. So I'm going to look at my 2 over here. 2 times 21. That should be rather simple. It's just 21 plus 21. 2 times 21, I know in my head, is 42. So I'm going to put the 21 here, and I'm going to put the 42 right here. Then 21 times 5, that's a little tricky, but I do know 21 times 10. Remember, I just put a 0 at the end, so I know that 21 times 10 is 210 right here. If I know that 21 times 10 or 10 times 21 is 210, I know that 100 times 21 is 2,100. Because look, 2 zeros at the end of 100, 2 zeros at the end of 21. Then this is where it becomes pretty tricky or pretty exciting, and you can use mental math. Because I know that 10 times 21 is 210, and I know that 5 is half of 10, I can figure out that 5 times 21, the product of 5 times 21 is going to be half of 10 times 21. So now instead of doing 5 times 21, all I need to do is take half of my answer when I did 10 times 21. So half of this is much easier to do than 5 times 21. So I'm taking half of 210, and I know half of 210 is 105. Now, because I know my answer to 5 times 21 is 105, I can figure out 50 times 21. 50 times 21 is just adding a 0 at the end of this product, because there's just a 0 at the end of 50, more so than the end of 5. So I know that 50 times 21 is 1,050. I can come down here now to my 200. So 200 times 21. Ooh, look, I did 2 times 21 to 42. So 200 times 21 must be 4,200. I can also do 500 times 21. Remember, if 5 times 21 was 105, 500 is just adding 2 zeros to that. So I would have 105 plus 2 zeros, which is 10,500. Now I can use this list of products to help me figure out what the best partial quotient is to start off with. And I'm going to choose from this list the number that is the highest one possible without going over my dividend here. And so I look down here because my dividend is 9,653. It's pretty high. And I can see that 500 times 21 is going to be too much. That's going to put me over 9,653. So I am going to use 200 times 21. I'm going to use this problem to figure out, or to use as my first partial quotient. So drawing that vertical line, and I am writing the 200 beside that vertical line right there. and I'm putting my product, I'm taking away my product, 4,200, from my dividend, because 200 times 21 is 4,200. So I'm going to subtract that amount from my dividend, and I'm going to get 5,453. Now I'm going to use my multiples list again, and I can see using my multiples list again that I can actually take another 200 groups of 21. I can get another 4,200 from this answer here. So I'm going to put 200 as a partial quotient over here, and again I am going to subtract that amount from what I had left. Now I have 1,253 to put into groups again. So I'm going to come back over, I'm going to refer back over to my multiples list, and I'm going to say to myself, oh, what is the next largest chunk that I can take without going over? And I can see that it's 50 times 21 to get 1,050. So I'm going to put 50 in my partial quotients, and I'm going to take away 1,050 from what I had left. And now I have 203. Again, I'm going to come back over to my multiples list. I'm going to see that 210 is so close, but not quite. So I'm actually going to be able to take a group of 5. I'm going to put 5 groups. So I'm going to put 5 over here, and I'm going to take away 105 from what I had left over, which was 203. I have to do some regrouping in order to do that correctly. And I have 98 left. Now, I have a group of, or 2 groups that I can take, which is 42. I'm getting really low over here, which is okay. Sometimes that happens. So I have 56. Now, because I'm getting so close, I'm to the bottom and I don't have any more room on my whiteboard, all I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the 56 up here so that I can use space. And I see that I can take another group of 42, which is another 2. And now I'm done, because 14, what I have left over here, is less than my divisor, which was 21. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to add up all of these partial quotients. 200 plus 200 is 400, plus 50 is 450, plus 5 is 455, plus 2, 457, plus 2 is 459. So my answer is actually 459, remainder 14. And that's how I use my multiples list to really, really help me out in figuring out which partial quotients to use and which partial quotients to start off with. So that way I can be the most efficient as possible. Now it's your turn to try.